All right, we are live and local at Washington WREIA, September 2023. I want to thank everyone for coming on board. We had a really good response this month. So we're going to give folks, I'm starting a little bit early to let people kind of come on, say hello. Brenda, I see you from Washington County, Maryland. Very good. Thanks for coming on. Going to give people a little bit of time here. I hope everyone is doing well. Everybody survived our little rainstorm over the weekend. Great weekend to stay inside. And if you like sports, a lot of good college football, a lot of good pro football on this weekend. So hope everybody did okay through that storm. As you come on board tonight, feel free to say hello in the comments section. We definitely encourage you to ask any questions. Tonight's presentation by Justin Hensroth, many of you know him on AI and how you can kind of incorporate that into your real estate business, is going to be fast, and it's going to be moving pretty quick. So as you come across things, jot some things down. Feel free to ask questions. Justin will be happy to answer those. And certainly if you are just someone that wants to sit back and listen and kind of absorb it all, again, write down those questions. You all have our contact information. We're more than happy to answer those questions offline too. Sometimes we run out of time a little bit with our questions. So tonight, if you're listening and some of the stuff is confusing and you want to write down a question or two, feel free to do that. And if you don't get a chance to answer it tonight, you certainly can do that at a later time, and we can definitely get back to you with those questions. Well, I hope everyone is doing well. There's some contact information there on the bottom of the screen. We're kind of right in the middle of fall. It's kind of hard to believe as the end of the summer kind of finished up. Kids went back to school. Kids went back to college. People kind of came back from vacation and started ramping everything up again. The real estate markets definitely feels a little bit slow. I just encourage you to keep moving forward, keep poking along, keep doing the things that you can control. I just read an article about a lot of you know I'm a big sports fan, and the Ryder Cup, the Golf Ryder Cup in Rome is coming up actually this weekend. I just read an article right before I got on here tonight about Michael Jordan kind of backing the European team. Backing may be a strong word, but his opinion is that the European team will win the Ryder Cup. And it went in more in depth about Michael Jordan. Those of you that don't know who that is, just Google him. A famous basketball player that I think most of us have heard his name before. But he had an interesting take on just his success and winning championships and how that can relate certainly to our other aspects of our life. And he was talking about, he really focused on always the things that he could control, the processes that he could control. So in his world, right, that's making sure that he's fit, that's making sure that he's getting enough rest, that's making sure that he is working on deficiencies in his game or strengths in his game, maybe taking extra foul shots, maybe taking extra jump shots, and certainly just working on all those things that he controlled. And then when he goes out into the arena, into the game, he is fully prepared. He's done everything he possibly can do to prepare. And then what he says is he just lets the aspect of winning kind of come along with that. So let's relate that more to our business, in the real estate business, as the market maybe has been a little bit slow. And it has been in my business. My phone has been a little slow in the last 6 weeks. Off to a great start this year, doing a lot of projects. But I've noticed the last 6 weeks have been just slow. I mean, lack of a better word. But again, instead of getting discouraged, I've been doing this long enough to know that I can't control all the outside forces that really none of us can really understand fully, right? We can read a lot. We can understand markets. We can read what the Fed is going to do, and we can kind of be on top of these things. But ultimately, we can't control all these outside forces that are happening. I mean, I have no ability to control aid to Ukraine. I have no ability to convince House Republicans and House Democrats to come up with a balanced budget so the government doesn't shut down. I can't control long-term interest rates. What I can control, though, is I can control the activities that I can do to generate leads, activities I can do to, when I may be a little slow, take time to step back, work on some of my systems, work on some of my marketing strategies, look back and look at things that maybe have worked in maybe a slower market. So I can control those things. And by doing that and keep moving forward and keep having a good attitude, my results should come. So it's just a little snippet there as we get going with REIA, because I've heard some bantering with folks, had a couple lunches, couple conversations where people are kind of getting nervous. They're getting nervous about a slowing down market. And you've seen it from real estate agents, from mortgage officers, from title companies, invitations to go to seminars, invitations for breakfasts. You see the businesses all around real estate a little bit certainly slower. Some predict it's going to get slower than it is now. Some predict dire things. Some predict opposite things. So again, we've had these conversations before if you've ever turned into Washington REIA, but we want to just stay steadfast in the things that we can control, the things that we can get up and do every single day to move our businesses forward. Now, saying that, some of you know that we have live REIA events, and thanks for joining us. Russell, always one of positive news. Crash is coming. Government shutdown may be the catalyst. Well, Russell may be right. He's been wrong too, and I think he'll admit that. So again, we don't know. We don't know, but it definitely feels like, we've had a party going on for quite a long time. A lot of money been infused in the market, and some of that money is drifting away and being cut off. And so it's natural that the market probably will adjust to that, and we could be in for some bumpy times. Hard to know. Hard to know. All we can do is do the things that we control. But saying that, some of you know that we do live events. Live REIA events, and we had a team of 23 that we're moving through the year with. By the way, we will be starting a new team beginning in January. So if you have any interest in that, make sure to reach out to us and we can get you involved in our live REIA events, which have been, in my opinion, really, really good. A lot of great discussion, smaller, like I said, 23 folks, or in some cases less if people have different commitments during the meetings. But this past last few months, we had an event that Justin gave just on some of the things he's going to be talking about here tonight. He definitely had a little more time and expanded on some ideas at the live meeting, but it really got us all to really thinking. B2C marketing plan, AI tools edition. That's what Justin's going to be talking about tonight. Got the conversation really going, and we all kind of left that meeting excited and thought, man, there's so much going on in the world of AI and so much going on in the online world that if we can implement just a little bit of these things, that is going to be pretty exciting. Now, again, we did leave, some of us, I'm not tech savvy, scratching our heads and going, gosh, how can we learn more about this? How can we take what we've been doing and implement just a little bit of these things? Just, make some movement forward with some of the things that are coming down the path. We talk about AI, and Justin's going to expand on that here in a minute. And we talk about Chat GPT. And my little brain, I heard about this through my sons. And they said, Dad, you should get on Chat GPT. It's so cool. It's such a cool tool. And so I did, and I got around to playing with a little bit, and it's just amazing. You just have, the world of knowledge at your fingertips, and the things that you can do with this, and the things that you can prompt it, and the information that comes back to you within, seconds is unbelievable. And so I've used it in ways, for marketing purposes, for I've done a few articles for a couple print ads that also go online. And I kind of use ChatGPT to give kind of a broader outline of the article that I want to write. And then I take that and I kind of then rewrite it from my experiences and what I want to tell the audience. But it just gives me such a good blueprint, such a good oversight, and it gives me some great ideas. So for me, it's such a creative tool that gets me thinking and gets me in the right direction. And I really enjoyed playing around with it. I've just touched the surface. I haven't even really gotten too far into it to make a difference. I'm sorry, I'm reading a little bit of this. Is this meeting being done via StreamYard? Russell, good question. Why do you ask? Email marketing book. outlines if it is older info is good with ChatGPT. All right. Thank you. And we'll put that up. So like I was saying, a few months ago, Justin came in to the offices and did a couple hour Q&A and a presentation on the very thing that he's going to touch on a little bit here tonight. So we thought it'd be great to spread this out to our online community. So I certainly hope you enjoy this. Now, again, he's going to encourage you to ask questions. I mean, if you're stumped on something, he's lived this and breathed this and he knows this. So, and all of you know that this is absolutely an absolute free platform. So don't be shy. And if he can't get to one of your questions, he'll certainly answer it offline for you. But I want to give him a good amount of time here tonight because I saw his screen, his slides, and he's just got a lot of great information to share with you. So without further ado, Justin, I'm going to bring you in here to the broadcast and take it away and wow these folks like you did us at our live meeting a few months ago. It's all yours.
All right. Appreciate it, John. Thank you very much. I'll go ahead and kind of duck you out here for a second. But you're welcome to come on back in whenever you like. I think you got all the controls there to kind of step back in whenever you like. Russell, it is being broadcast by StreamYard. StreamYard's been our tool of choice ever since COVID came around. We went online, and StreamYard was one of the first tools we started to use. Lets us broadcast across a few different platforms and does a great job for us. But yeah, good pickup on that one. So some of this is going to be a little repetitive for the people that were in the live WREIA meeting just a few weeks ago. Stick with us because we've got a last half of this is completely different. We've got some new tools that we're introducing. You guys got kind of the elongated version, in depth, went a little bit more into Facebook, but we've got a couple of extra tools that are in this presentation tonight. All right. So let's start this off. This starts off with a title that everybody would probably yawn at, right? The B2C marketing plan for 2023, even if it's the AI tools edition, maybe not such a fantastic title. I reached out to ChatGPT and said, hey, give me something else. So I'm going to show you in a minute what we actually changed the title to. If you signed up on Eventbrite, you probably saw a little bit of different title than what this says. But this original presentation was built off of marketing plan. It was basically something I've done for better part of 12 years now at WREIA. What do you need to do? What are the updates every September for marketing as far as real estate people go, real estate agents, investors, all the different tools that we can use online. So let's go ahead and dive in here a little bit. I'm going to start you off with a little bit of my take on what's happening over the next few months. I think we got a little bit of a challenge going. What you're looking at here is a ETF from XLRE. If you're familiar with the stock market and stock symbols and whatnot, this is an ETF that basically tracks the broader real estate industry and allows you to put a hedge on if you like. You can use this for a few different ways. If you just want to invest in real estate broadly and only have a few $100s, you can kind of throw $50 to anywhere from $25 to $50 over the last 5 years or so and basically play the real estate market this way. But you can kind of see over here on the right hand side, we've really kind of rolled off a cliff since the Fed announcement last week. We got a near term target that's approaching some 2020 lows. This is going to be a challenging few weeks for real estate. This gets me a little bit excited though. If we go back on the broader, longer time frame here, going back to about 2016, you can kind of see we had our annual dips and troughs and peaks and valleys and all this kind of stuff. I always tell John, you can usually get about a 10% discount if you want to buy something in December versus trying to buy or sell the same stuff in June or July. Especially here in the DC area, it's an easy time to get a little bit of a seasonal discount. There's not as many people in the market. That was evident year after year till we hit that little COVID spill right there in the center of the screen. And you see how much of an effect it had on real estate, all that pouring of COVID money that came into the market. It really put a peek into our real estate values across the country, and we're paying the price for it now. We see a lot of other headwinds that are coming our way. I'm a little bit of a contrarian investor. I get a little excited. I don't like buying when it's up there at the top of that 2021 peak. It makes me a little bit nervous that, all right, this is a little outstanding. I did this in 2006 and basically took all my cards off the table in the DC area and tried to go hide in the Carolinas for a couple of years, but nobody could escape that 2008 Great Recession that we had. So anyway, let's get back to, so that's the backdrop basically for what are we in for. I think we got a little bit of some headwinds headed our way. I think we're going to be in for a difficult time, but now is the time where astute people and good business people are sharpening their stones, sharpening their swords. Let's try to basically get better at our craft while things are rough out there, and let's let the people that aren't so good at the craft fall off, so that whenever things start to come back around, here we are standing with all of our toolbox ready to go. So we changed the title here to the AI Revolution, Your Ultimate Real Estate Success Partner. That came straight out of ChatGPT. I asked it, hey, give me a few extra titles on this topic. And here we go. This was tested across Facebook and Google. This was one of the winning headlines. So obviously I use it as a headline in this now. Let me duck out here just a little bit so I can see any comments that are starting to come in. If anybody's got some questions along the way, please go ahead and post them. I'd love to kind of interact with a few people along the way. I'm going to ask a couple of questions as well. But what's the marketing plan? I'm going to go through this relatively quickly and then show you how you can implement some of these broader tools and change out the formats of your preferred method of interacting with people, whether it's video or audio or text. So whatever you're going to decide to do, you got to have a target audience. I call this the avatar. We're all searching for somebody that we're going to be targeting. Who's the ideal client for yourself? Obviously, you need to figure out what the product or service is. If you're going to be working with people that are in estate properties or bankruptcies or divorcees or maybe people that are trying to downsize, if you pick out a target audience and start there, it's amazing in our world how if you can focus on one field, the broad market will be there. They say, oh, if you only focus on estate properties, I have a bankruptcy property over here. I've gotten a call from somebody that says, do you also deal with bankruptcies? Absolutely. What do you got? So if they see your ad, if they see something that you've posted online, the people that are wondering, hey, this person I'm enjoying their content. They're talking about a subject that's a little close to what I'm doing. Maybe they'll reach out to you and they'll become a customer, a client, whatever it might be. So figure out what the product or service is that you're going to be working on. Creating a brand. This is sometimes not as important as some people think. Just personalizing this, being the person that people think about whenever they think about a certain topic is a lot better these days, as opposed to like the Coke or the Pepsis of the world. We're seeing how bad that can be if the brand message is off. It can be pretty detrimental to the broader company. Figure out what marketing channels. This is like Facebook, Instagram, Google. If you're going to be online, you could do stuff, billboards, and John likes to do radio and print a lot. Whatever your preferred method of reaching people is, or wherever they live, or wherever they spend their most time, reach out to them in those marketing channels and create the content that's engaging, informative, and personalize it. Basically tell some personal stories. If you don't have any, you can always kind of reach out into the local news and make comments about local news that are going on. Engaging with people, like I just mentioned just a minute ago, I try to ask people to interact with me. Post a comment on videos that we make. Post a comment, ask a question, whatever it might be. But always wrap up with a call to action, whatever it is that you want people to do. If you want them to give you a call, send you an email, download a free report, whatever it might be, make sure that these things are fairly positive every time they're interacting with you. Don't just send out a bunch of crap. I can tell you a lot of these tools that are being created right now, if we thought email was bad, when everybody started to get online and started sending email, a lot of my email, I have 40,000 unread emails in my main inbox right now because email has become so easy. Well, a lot of this content is going to be so much easier for everybody to do as people become more aware of it over the next 12 to 18 months or so. I'm going to show you a few tools that you can use. And let's try to get ahead of this curve a little bit so that as things are changing, people are impressed by your work as opposed to your competitors, quite frankly. Of course, asking for feedback and then measuring everything along the way. So ChatGPT is the main tool that everybody's heard about. What I did with those main topics there of creating that business plan, I simply went to ChatGPT. I typed in a prompt. So this is essentially how you interact with a lot of AI. We're changing the terminology a little bit. You're not doing searches anymore. You're actually doing prompts. So I said, what are the basic elements for B2C marketing? And it brought me back this answer. And everything was kind of here in paragraph format. If you enlarge the screen here a little bit, you can kind of see this is maybe a little bit wordy. People would have fallen asleep if you thought the first headline was a little tiresome. And this is pretty bad if I try to put this into a presentation. I don't like people falling asleep during a presentation. But I came back to it and I said, please put this in list format. So that's exactly what it did. I took out a couple of the ones that like the multi-channel strategies and all that. There was a few of these that I actually removed from the list, but the ones that I agreed with, I left right there. So that entire first intro to this presentation was done in about 40 seconds. A quick review of what it brought back the first time. And by the time I got the second response, the main thrust of the presentation was basically done in 30 to 45 seconds. So if you let that sink in a little bit, for those of us that have been doing presentations or been doing work for companies for the better part of a couple decades now, it's incredible how efficient you can be just if you have kind of ChatGPT or some of these AI tools sitting by your side. And it's not going to surprise me. I told my son today, it's not going to surprise me if you have your own personal assistant, kind of like we use Alexa, and don't want it to turn on and start listening to what I'm saying here. But all throughout the day, I constantly talk to Siri and Alexa and ask questions and what time is it? My daughter, who has Down syndrome, comes out and she's my personal weather girl. She asks Alexa every morning what the weather's supposed to be like. So this stuff, these tools are pretty incredible for absolutely everybody. After I got done and I got that response from ChatGPT, I went over to Bing, and my comparison here was with this exact same prompt. And you can see that Bing gave me a long, drawn out paragraph type format that I knew immediately was never going to work. B2C marketing stands for business to consumer marketing. I mean, if I'm asking you a question like, what are the basic elements? I probably already have an idea of what B2C marketing is all about. I don't need to start at the very basics. So Bing is one of these services that they tried to chat up for a little while. There was a few weeks where, Microsoft's going to be ahead of the curve because we're going to dump ChatGPT into our search algorithms and everything. And the reality is, it's just the interaction is not even close to what ChatGPT is like. So let's carry on here a little bit. Basic elements. I then told it, can you bring this back and kind of try to narrow this down a little bit, put it in bullet point format. And again, it just kind of failed miserably. I mean, there was a few things here that I thought might have stuck out a little bit, but after my 45-second jaunt with ChatGPT, I just thought, let's go ahead and stick with the response from ChatGPT. All right. So if you remember this slide, one of the big things that I'd like everybody to kind of carry away from tonight is, if ultimately our goal is to take some of our information and some of our research and put it into video format and try to reach out to customers in that way, most people, the best response rates we're getting across the board, every client that I've worked with over the last 5 years has always been video. Not far behind that is text-based messaging, whether it's in blog formats or email or anything text-based, and then audio falls behind that. So I want everybody to think, okay, if you got a little bit of a little bit of content, let's try to put this into video format. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can turn one of these slides into video using this the service from Synthesia. So this service is $30 a month. We're gonna go ahead and show you. Here's how exactly we turn this into video. That exact slide. I'm gonna have a video put together. And this person is not a real person. This is a digital entity that's just simply reading the text that I've put into it. So let's go ahead and rewind this here a little bit.
Target audience. Define your ideal customer and their preferences. Product/service. Highlight features and unique aspects. Brand identity. Create a memorable brand image.
All right. So give me your impression on that video. If you don't like listening to a white male talk, or you're testing different you're testing different formats, different ethnicities and whatnot, I can tell you white males do okay for the broad audiences, but whenever we move that to a female, there's almost always a jump in response. There's almost always a longer listening across the board, both male and female. Donald, this is a great question. How long should the videos be? Many are too long and they lose me. So most of the videos, whenever you're dealing with short format, I like to fall under 8 minutes. That's been about the max. And for most topics that are short format, you can really get away with the thrust of what you're trying to put across to people in as little as 2 minutes, maybe 90 seconds. Anything beyond 2 minutes, I consider to be a longer format style. You're dealing with something like we're doing tonight, where you're working anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, or even an hour. But we're jumping across a lot of topics and dealing with a lot of different individual topics here tonight, with the main overall theme being, obviously, what's this marketing plan going to be like? So Synthesia is a great tool. It's only $30 a month. If you're looking for different people, you can kind of see a little bit of choppiness in that video that we just played. Did the volume come across for everybody okay? Can I just get 1 or 2 thumbs up from people if the volume was okay on that video? Wait here just a second or two, make sure that everything's following through. StreamYard has lost me a little bit on audio for the last couple of weeks. Donald, appreciate it. Thank you for that response. All right, so we're going to jump across and deal with a couple other things that Synthesia can actually do for you. We'll actually come back here. All right, so I actually took some of these off. Paul, appreciate it. Thank you. So Synthesia has a couple of demos on their site where you can watch. These are 2 of the easy ones to get to. One of the hiccups that they have is some of the verbiage could be a little bit off. They're trying to pronounce names incorrectly and whatnot. On this slide, we actually did the slide for the live crowd a couple weeks ago. You can pull out people that have Southern accents. This girl's a runaway hit with almost every presentation that we do. She does a great job of kind of slowing things down and giving you a little bit of a Southern accent. I've got a few clients that work in the South, not too far outside of Atlanta. So we tend to use a lot of Southern accents whenever we head down into that area. We've tested the Midwest stuff and the people that have the much more plain accents. And these, again, if you can get a 5 or 10% bump in rates by using the Southern accent to local crowds, you go for it, right? All right, so Synthesia is great. You can create some videos with people that don't look exactly like you. You can test some other ethnicities, some other accents, see what starts pulling the best. But ultimately, if you can start testing these with some ads placed on Facebook, one of the takeaways I'd like for people to take away when advertising on Facebook is don't worry about this broader network that they have, the audience network. So this bottom left-hand corner of this slide, whenever you're creating ads inside of Facebook, so many people just take the word of Facebook itself and say, sure, just send it everywhere. And I like to get targeted audiences that are anywhere from 30 to 300,000, 30,000 to 300,000 is great if you're doing nationwide audiences. But if you're inside the state, this is kind of very much reflects what I usually try to target. If I'm targeting somebody inside the state of Maryland, for instance, this is an actual ad that I took that's only trying to target 3,900 to 11,000 people at a time. So that may sound like a lot of people, but about half of those people will even be on to Facebook over any given week. So if I can narrow that down and only put these ads out on Facebook and Instagram, if my target audience is a little bit younger, I tend to only put it on Instagram. They tend to shy away from Facebook anyway. So after a few months of testing these, we know exactly where our audience is hiding, if they're on Facebook, Instagram. Once we get a little bit of feedback off those two sites, we can usually take them over onto Google and find out, are these people doing more Google searches, or can we find them more on YouTube videos? And YouTube has just been a fantastic place for us to be placing some of these videos lately. And so many people are watching Facebook still on their computer, but it's amazing the flip that's happened where so many people are starting to watch YouTube videos on TV now. So instead of actually turning on a favorite show or the regular local lineup, people are just saying, no, I don't really care about what's going on national. CNN and Fox and all these national news sites are really starting to rub people the wrong way. People are losing faith in what they're being told. And they're just saying, hey, let's go find somebody on a topic that I like, and I'm going to watch what their station is like online on YouTube. So don't be afraid to kind of throw your hat in the ring and become a YouTube superstar. It's pretty incredible and pretty easy to get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people in any given afternoon that will watch a video if you do the right targeting on the right topic. Even as real estate people, it's very possible whenever we hit the right topic. All right, so we need content to go into some of these videos. We can actually create, just use pictures. So I'm listing a couple of sites here where you can pick up pictures for free. If anyone's got any other photo sites that they like to use, or they don't even have to be photos, but they can be cartoons or anything that they're using for graphics to go into any of their online content, I'd love to hear it. These are some of my favorites, is Pexels and Pixabay and Canva. A lot of these come with some free material, and if you're creating an ad on Facebook, you can actually create ads using their pictures. So their depth is not that great. So I like to reach out into Pexels and see if I can find something that's maybe a little bit more interesting or attention grabbing. So Pexels, Pixabay, and Canva are three places where you can get free photos to use with your content. All right. So if you can't find what you're looking for, you can always create it. So openart.ai is a place that I've had a lot of fun. And I'm going to share a little something here that particularly like cat videos. They're mind numbing. They can be pretty funny. I've got a couple of cats of my own that I love playing with the little laser pointers and whatnot. But creating art based on some of these cats, I've got a thing for some of the steampunk genre. So what you're seeing there in the upper right-hand corner is a steampunk cat that I created using openart.ai. This little guy has become a logo across some of the sites that I'm on. This is my profile picture on a few sites that I'm on. And this was just a simple little prompt on OpenArt that was under the free plan. So this little guy is something that I could have never drawn on my own. But this type of artwork is something that's always been a little interesting to me whenever I look at some of the modern stuff. We were in the museums over the weekend with some friends that were out of town, and the steampunk art has always kind of caught my attention. So if I can throw it on top of a cat, there you go. But you can use the same thing. The same prompts you can actually ask OpenArt to show you a house with a sunlit background. I want it to have blue paint and light blue shutters, and you can get as detailed as you want. The big takeaway from OpenArt, I forgot to say this in a couple of previous presentations, was this prompt book that comes along with the site. You don't even have to pay for one of the plans. They will actually give you access to this prompt book that they have. Even if you're thinking about using them, I think they all have free periods where you're able to use them and test them out for 14 days or so. But at $10 a month or $20 a month, the amount of artwork that you can put out on this site is just pretty incredible. But this prompt book, like I said about ChatGPT, instead of doing a search, you actually interact with AI using prompts. So a lot of people have a lot of different material and, oh, here's my list of favorite prompts and whatnot. This is one of the most impressive that I found over the last 6 months or so. So the prompt book that comes along with this, if you're into artwork at all and want to create better art to go to be used on your sites, this is a great place to go and kind of dive deep on the topic without getting drowned out with the technicalities and whatnot. Just how can I create a little bit better work using better prompts. All right. So another tool that real estate investors, when I first got in this business 20 some odd years ago, my credit was not great. I was somebody in my late 20s. My credit was, as a lot of people are coming out of college, oh, give me that free credit card sign up and whatnot on that college quad where everybody tries to get you. Back then, we all signed up for the Discover card, and they gave you a free little water bottle or headband or whatever it was. And 6 months later, you found out, oh, I got to pay for this thing. I got to pay this credit card back. So my credit was not that great in my mid 20s, and I very quickly found out, all right, I better get into this game and start learning how to get better credit if I want to start buying my first house, for instance. And I had to do a lot of this stuff on my own. This company called Dispute AI, Dispute AI Pro, I think is the actual web address. It should come up here in a second. But they actually create all the templates. You basically interact with this company and upload or send them the direct link to your credit reports from all 3 credit bureaus. And they help you write the letters based on what those responses are. And the response that you get is pretty incredible. Over just 1 month, try to zoom in here a little bit on this, we can basically get rid of 15 to 22% of the bad marks on your credit report. But after 4 months of using this service, it could be anywhere from 37 to 44%. That this is obviously based on tens of thousands of responses that they've gotten and whatnot. So there's a friend of mine that uses this. He's a loan broker, business loan broker out west. uses this service, and he basically has taken hundreds of clients now and enabled them to actually get loans because they had such issues on their credit report. A lot of people don't even know that they've got a few dings, or they've got stuff that's been on their credit report for months that they, or even years, that they never even knew about. So there it is, disputeaipro.com. This is one, if you've got any kind of credit issues, this company does a great job of basically helping you write the letters. And whenever you send a letter yourself directly to one of these credit bureaus, they have to respond to you. So, and if you play the game, get in here and start trying to get rid of some of this stuff that might be bringing your credit score down. As high as these rates are these days, let's see if we can't knock down our bad credit issues and start to raise that credit score. All right, so there's another tool that just been outstanding. I mean, people that own small businesses that have been bumping their head against credit lines and whatnot have used this service for as little as 30 or 60 days and had some great response. The sweet spot, according to my friend out in Arizona, is right around that 90-day mark, though. If you can take advantage of these guys. And if I'm not mistaken, there it is, $35 a month. So 35, 4 months, what are we at? $140 to and a little bit of postage, a little bit of printing to send these letters out. And you can do some pretty incredible things to your credit. Not to mention, this site has some free videos that go along with it. Even if you got pretty decent credit already, they show you some tactics on when and how to pay your credit card lines and whatnot that you have each month. You don't have to pay them down to zero. You can keep 10 or 20%. I thought it was interesting. One of my takeaways from the site was people that have 800 plus credit scores usually use about 8 to 9% of their credit lines and credit cards. So that's the balance that they carry. So just thought that was an interesting takeaway on some of their content. All right, and let's go ahead and wrap this up. So the Pictory.ai, this is kind of a grand finale. I'm going to start wrapping some of this up and maybe bring John back in here for a little bit of a wrap-up discussion. But Pictory.ai, if you've been watching YouTube for any length of time, you've probably started to see some of these videos that pop up. Maybe similar to, let me go ahead and show you one of the videos that I created, again, just using a free service. So this is a templated free version that I created just not too long ago. I'm going to share the screen here, and volume should be okay.
Opening shot, a vibrant and engaging visual with upbeat music playing in the background.
All right, so what I've done here is actually created like an entire script, and I just dumped this entire script from ChatGPT right into this service, and you're seeing what the actual script would be. So you're seeing on the screen, okay, the opening screen should include people that are in a vibrant atmosphere, so on and so forth. And then you're going to see things like narrator talking. All the verbiage is here, but I did this just so you can see this is how quickly you can create an entire video. And of course, we're going to edit out opening scene, what it's supposed to look like and whatnot. But you can kind of see this is how quickly some of these videos can be made.
Narrator, friendly voiceover. Welcome to our guide on the essential elements of B2C marketing. Let's dive into the key components that make your B2C marketing strategy shine. Cut to visuals of a diverse group of consumers engaging with different products. Narrator, first up, it's all about understanding your target audience. Get to know their preferences and needs to tailor your approach. Visuals of logos, color schemes, and brand materials. Narrator, craft a compelling brand identity. Narrator, dig into consumer insights. Quick shots of different marketing channels, social media, emails, blogs, etc. Narrator, choose your marketing channels wisely. Reach your audience where they hang out, whether it's social media, email, or elsewhere. Narrator, engaging content is key. Individualized messages and customization graphics. Narrator, add a
All right. So I think everybody probably understands this is we don't have to go all the way back here to the end, but let me get back to StreamYard. All right. So Pictory.ai allows you to create videos like that. That entire content, again, going back to ChatGPT, this entire thing was created less than 5 minutes. Obviously, there's going to be some editing there. I can't use the word narrator and whatnot, but that type of content, it's amazing how fast it can be created. And if you don't like the graphic or the video that's been attached to one of those, it's very easy to swap that out and choose something else. Now that I've gotten a little beyond the free version, they've got different versions here in the service. But one of the big takeaways from Pictory.ai is once you create one of these videos, it allows you to download just the audio. So if you want to turn your video or the content that you've made into short podcast style clips, or can upload them to any of the audio only sites, or of course export just the text from that same thing. You're basically seeing a way here where you can do the work one time and create content for multiple sites. So John, what's your preferred way of digesting content? I think you're a big reader, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a reader, but I'm older school. I mean, again, I think it goes back to your very first point is everyone has to identify what market, they're going after. I mean, certainly in my training heydays, if I was doing more of that now, I would incorporate, and Justin, we talked about this. We were really early on this. We should both be YouTube stars at this point. But video is very, very powerful. I mean, people like, and the thing about video that's so powerful is that you see it. If you're in an airport or restaurant or public transportation, or for that matter, on the Beltway, you see people just chained to their phones. And half of that is they're reading either their text messages or they're on social media looking at a funny video or looking at something they're interested in, or maybe they're in between meetings and they're pulling up something. So I think video, again, too, as the market for distressed real estate investors has become more competitive, you need to have different ways to reach people. So I think incorporating some of these things can be very powerful. I mean, think about it. Those of you that have listened to me and Justin for years and years, we're big networkers. We know we're big on creating networks and creating databases. And what better way than to add people to your database by doing just some, interesting videos. And that can be anything from getting a few more wholesalers on your team, getting a few more contractors out looking for properties for you. So this can be used in a lot of different subtle ways to just increase your database, increase your network, which ultimately, hopefully, will lead you to whatever you're looking for in the real estate business, whether that's property to fix, whether it's long-term rental, commercial property, more listings, whatever your game is in the real estate space. So I think all of this stuff blows me away. Now, Justin, just, for people out there listening, I mean, if they give them kind of like, what would you do next? Like a next step. I mean, for me, when I'm listening to you, I'm actually taking, and I have the privilege of asking you to send me some slides, but I'm just taking pictures of some of these different tools that you mentioned. And just, a simple step might be in the next few days, just getting on some of these sites, surfing around, taking a look at it, seeing what things cost, seeing what you can do with it, and just letting your kind of almost like a brainstorm session on your own desk, thinking, how can I use some of these things? Because folks, this is coming fast, and we're just at, and I think, Justin, you agree with this, we're just at the forefront. I mean, imagine what this is going to look like in 2 to 3 years. I read an article in the Washington Post about, I don't know, a month or two ago, where they showed just thousands of people sitting, in India at their cubicles, just working on all this AI stuff to make it better and better and better. So I think we're just at the beginning of all this.
Yeah, I mean, this is not even, we're not even through inning one of a 9-inning game that could have overtime. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. For instance, Amazon just this morning, it was announced, made a $5 billion investment into a AI company, and they're not even going to own 50% of the company.
Yeah.
They're going to be supporting the company with their AWS servers, so all of their the bandwidth that they have there on their servers is going to be put to work. But they're contributing $5 billion to the company, so that they can basically support some of their own customers in the customer support roles. Basically, that's how they're kicking off this interaction with the company. I mean, $5 billion is nothing to sneeze at. We throw billions of dollars and even trillions of dollars around now these days. It's almost hard to fathom. But yeah, we're just getting started. The big concern at this point is how are we going to control the 4 or 5 companies that are already behemoths?
Yeah.
How are we going to let them basically take over the next stage of the internet? Right. And I've heard some funny comments from people saying that the boomers are turning into doomers because we're so concerned about AI and how's it going to be controlled, and do we need to legislate it and whatnot. I'm afraid the cat's already out of the bag. Yeah. There's going to be bad actors that are going to use these to do some pretty nefarious things. Of course, we're going to have some people that are going to be. We've already seen people that have gotten away with fake voices, where if you and I are talking right now, somebody could fake either one of our voices and call any one of our friends on the phone and act like we're in a precarious situation. Can you send me some money?
You saw that big thing. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, hopefully have heard about the fires out in Hawaii and Maui, and that big hoax about Tom Hanks coming online, someone using his voice to say that Oprah, who lives on Maui, kind of orchestrated all these wildfires so she'd have the opportunity to buy all this prime real estate. I mean, literally, people took that seriously, and that was all just fake AI that got out there. And people started believing all these conspiracy theories. Oh, well, Tom Hanks, it was Tom Hanks. Well, it's scary, but I think and some practical things. I've used it. I have a couple tax-free exchanges going on, and I've used ChatGPT to play around with, let me know the 5 best, cash flow markets in the Southeast, including, and I'll give them 5 or 6 states. I mean, things like that, just to have that. Now, again, we've all had Google, we've all had, different search engines that we can do this, but this just happened so quickly. It's just an aggregate of so much information so fast that as this builds out, the information is just so powerful. So there's lots of different ways you can use this. I know realtors using it to create their remark sections, of a house. They're putting in some prompts, and ChatGPT is spitting out better remarks than any of us could ever write with, things like that. Is crazy.
Realtors and real estate agents, have you guys noticed how the descriptions of these properties have gotten so much better in the last 6 months?
Yeah, it's AI. I mean, and it's that's all good. I mean, it's more descriptive. It's more, you tell AI to, put more, immediate selling words, more, some of the things that is crazy. So hopefully, I hope all of you have gotten some out of this. Justin, if they want to kind of connect with you, you want to throw a phone number or email up on the screen. There you go. If you want to reach out to Justin, he does some private consulting. Those of you that been around REIA, we don't, pound you for for private consulting and things like that. But Justin does some consulting on some of these things. So if you have a project or you have someone within your team, I know with the live version, he offered, if you have a lot, you have someone around your office that needs some more things to do. Maybe if you're a little slow right now, he could actually train that person to help you with some of these things. So he's available for that. As I mentioned, as we close out tonight, we are building this new team for 2024. I know that's hard to believe, but we're going to, relaunch this. Hopefully we're going to have some renews from the team of 2023. But if you're interested in that, just reach out to us. We'll get you on a list and we'll follow up with you as we build out that team. You can text us or email this. But again, this is some of the kind of information that we're trying to surround you guys with, stuff that we're using in our business, stuff that Justin's been using in his business. And we share this stuff freely with y'all. So hopefully you got something out of it. You got a nugget. That's all we ask, that you get just something, just a little something that you can use in your business that's practical, that you can use, that tomorrow you can wake up and go, you know what, from that presentation last night, I think I'm going to check out this site, see how I can use some of this free art, see how I can use some of this video chat, see how I can put maybe a couple Facebook ads and kind of test some of these things to see how it works. That's what we're about here at Washington WREIA. And we hope that was helpful. So Justin, thank you very much. Thank everyone for joining us tonight. Have a good, safe week and let us know how we can help you. We're out here every day working on our real estate businesses. And if we can help you out, feel free to reach out. So again, thanks everyone for joining us and we will see you very soon. Take care.
Thanks, everybody. Very much appreciate the attention tonight. Best of luck to everyone and reach out to me if you got any questions. Happy to help.